Hi, thanks for being in a new video. This time I have unboxing of HUAWEI Nova 13 Pro. In fact, I'm also going to show you the Nova 13, but first the Pro model. Let's get started. Right now in the official Huawei store, this device is priced at 12,999 pesos. On screen you see the reference price in dollars, so you have more or less an idea, although remember that the prices here are not the same as over there. So, join me in taking this device out of its box to be able to know what is the proposal that Huawei has for this year in the premium mid-range. Let's take out the contents of this box. We are directly encountering the mobile device. It comes in this little protection, so let's remove it from this section so we can have a direct look with it. And now we're going to remove the sticker. Immediately we find ourselves with a design that is too nice. Huawei calls the design of this generation as dynamic, plaid textured. It has nice details. Here it looks like a kind of cloth pattern. At least to me it reminds me of that, although to the touch it is completely smooth. It's also worth remembering that in this case, the ring around the camera comes with perforations that say Nova, which are details that make it look much more premium. We're going to turn this device on and we're going to see what else is in the box as it finishes its boot process. Let's see, remove this, and we're going to find this little box. In it, we're going to find the key to remove the SIM card tray. And we're also going to find a case that is totally transparent, totally flexible. In this case, I think it gives a good level of protection. Personally, I would prefer to use a design without a case in this case, because the case adds several reflections, and without a case it has a very nice matte design. But you let me know in the comments, because it will obviously give it some nice protection. So this is what we are finding so far, but obviously this is not the only thing in the box. As you notice, we're also going to find the cable and the charger. In this case, it is a considerably large charger. In fact, it comes with a focus that you can also use it on your Huawei laptop or tablet. Remember that Huawei has a good amount of products in different categories, so this same charger can be used to charge your computer. Although even though it has two ports, one USB-A and one USB-C. They are intended to be used one at a time and not both at the same time. The cable that comes included in the box is from USB-A to USB-C and comes with this interior in orange tone to distinguish it easily. Because remember very well that you must use the original cable if you want to enjoy maximum charging power. Or how about it? As you noticed, in this case is 100 watts, so it comes with a lot of power. In the video review, we will do the specific charging test to measure the exact time. But for now, it looks like an interesting box with good accessories included. So let's now focus directly on the handset to see its specifications. I already have the device here in my hand, so we can now really know all its features. So let's start with the design. It has a thickness of 782 millimeters and weighs 299 grams. With being under 8 millimeters, I think it's pretty good. Plus it comes with curvatures on the back cover and also on the front cover. So it's comfortable and even gives the feeling of being a little thinner. The screen has a diagonal of 676 inches. It offers us OLED technology with very high contrast, also very intense colors, and in this case, a variable refresh rate from 1 to 120 Hz, that is. In this case, it does not have a fixed rate, but if you are watching static content, the device will lower its refresh rate, and if you are watching something more dynamic, it will go up to 120% to find the good balance between fluid movements and also a good battery life. The resolution of this screen is Full HD and can also intelligently adapt its resolution to improve autonomy. It also has stereo sound, a speaker at the bottom and one at the top with a small grid for this audio output, but also takes audio through the earpiece area for calls. Then we find stereo sound, and in this case, it seems to me that the quality is good enough. Like all devices in the segment, does not bring headphone jack, but in this case, curiously comes with two front cameras. On the left is the ultra-wide 60 megapixel camera with f2.4. Aperture and autofocus, and on the right is a camera with optical zoom 2x with an 8 megapixel sensor, f2.2 aperture. And of course also autofocus. That is to say that on the front camera you can get an exaggeratedly wide view or you can get a very close view. Look with your arm more or less stretched out. This is the perspective that would give us this camera quite wide, and applying digital zoom, observe the detail that you could have of your face. In this case, I see that my lenses are not very clean to say, and in this sense, definitely that comes to stand out because in the segment usually come with a single front camera. Obviously, I think it would appeal more to those who want to see details of your face. So if you usually use your cell phone as a mirror, I think you could very well try to see some details without the need to get the screen too close to you. And note that before you take the picture, the preview is still a little bit burned out, but after you take the picture, we definitely see a very good balance of light and shadow. And in this case, the screen comes with HDR technology, so the pictures can cast more light in certain areas of the screen. They don't necessarily turn up the brightness of the whole screen, so you can have a much more realistic experience. So it definitely looks stunning, and on the back, the photography system is even more interesting. We found ultra-wide camera with macro capabilities at the same time because it has autofocus. It has 8 megapixels on the sensor, and the lens has f2.2 aperture. From the outset, this camera does well for having macro capabilities. Next, we find the main camera, which has a 50% megapixel sensor. But here the most remarkable thing, besides the fact that it has optical stabilization, is the variable aperture. Not to be confused with the aperture mode that Huawei keeps incorporating, as this is an aperture simulation to cause a blur effect. However, in Pro mode you can access to modify the aperture directly from the camera, as you realize, from f1.4 to f4.0. So look at it physically, there it's f1.4, and then we're going to close it down to f4.0. Did you notice that? In this case, the diaphragm is much more close, which brings in less light, and that means you can also get much more even focus on small subjects or group shots. So notice there I opened up the aperture and we're up to f1.4, which causes more light to come in, and you could also create a little more aggressive bokeh effect in a way that you can get a much more even focus on small objects or in group shots. Information. So it's up to you as a user what aperture you want to set it at, or if you definitely want to leave it on automatic, because it can also work like that. So let's go to very interesting cameras. And finally we come across the telephoto camera. It's 12 megapixels and it has an approximate 3x optical zoom to be exact. It's 68.5 millimeters, and definitely that also gives us something excellent for this level that it's competing at. It has f2.4 aperture and optical stabilization. And let's take a look at the pictures, because honestly in color I think it does an excellent job. The color is quite accurate even with the ultra-wide camera. Next we see the main camera, which also shows us good color, good detail. Honestly, it seems to me that Huawei is raising the level of photography in the mid-range. Next we are looking at the photo with 2x zoom, where it seems to take advantage of the information of the main sensor to maintain good quality. Next is the photograph with 3x zoom, where we again have optical quality, and the truth again, the level of detail is very good. So in intermediate, zoom complies perfectly. Next you are looking at the 5x zoom, where again still has a very good quality. I think that up to here the quality is still exaggeratedly good. Now you are looking at 10x zoom, where you can already tell it is a digital, but it is still a remarkable quality photograph considering we are talking about the mid-range, and in this case the maximum zoom is 30x, where you obviously do not see such a detailed image, but for being mid-range it seems to me that it has an excellent range. Now look at some portrait shots. Even in this case it is backlit portrait, and I think it does an excellent job with the main camera, although it is not the most professional perspective to say the least. However, now look at the picture with the 50mm setting approximately. It definitely looks very professional. But what I liked most was with 3x zoom, because the result looks very professional with a notable bokeh effect in the background. In the review we will do a more detailed analysis, but for now it seems to me that the cameras really deliver very well. By the way, I forgot to tell you that in this part it also has sensors to improve the focus. For video recording, note that if you can reach up to 4K, in this case at 30 stills frames per second, or you could also record in full HD at 60 frames per second, both with the main camera and with the telephoto camera. In this case, the ultra-wide camera has its maximum quality 4K at 30 frames per second. The truth is that it seems that in video recording it will also comply with good quality. The battery has a capacity of 50 mAh and supports 100 watts charge with charger included in the box. Huawei always tends to excel very well in batteries, so I think this will be no exception, although we will do the detailed test later. The operating system is HUAWEI in its 14.2 edition. Remember that in this case through the app gallery you could install microG, and therefore you can also install applications with Google services without too much trouble. You could still get to have one or the other inconvenience, but the truth is that with microG you can run virtually all Google applications. In the description I leave you a video tutorial so you can see how to install step by step, although it is quite simple, but there it is available. For example, in this case we are going to install Google Chrome for you to see. Obviously already set up microG previously, but from App Gallery simply search the application, click Install and Ready. The True is nothing complicated after having configured microG. And ready, as you see, Google Chrome is ready to be run directly from the home screen and is even able to recognize my Google account that I already have added. So it will definitely have a good performance, I insist. In the description I leave you the video tutorial in case you want to go see it. In this case we find 12 gigabytes of RAM and versions of 256 or 512 gigabytes of storage. I have the edition of 512, and as you realize there's a lot of headroom. It's definitely a solid contender for the premium mid-range. But surely you're wondering about the processor. It can become somewhat mysterious in Huawei sometimes. In this case the model is Kirin 80, i.e. it is a processor of the house designed by Huawei, and to have a reference of the power that could reach, here are the results with Geekbench in a single core 938 points. It seems that it did not come out too much. Here. But multi-core, I think, came out with enough power for a lot of users with 2714 points. If we compare it, just to give you a reference, it's about the same as the Snapdragon 6th Gen, one or a little bit below the Snapdragon 778. Obviously, in the price range, it's not the most powerful thing you're going to find in terms of raw power, but as I say, for a good amount of users, it can be a not remarkably smooth performance, especially for the good amount of RAM it has. Anyway, in the video review we will do the test so you can see how long it takes to open apps and other processes. For now in Antutu it scored 626,769 points. So that's the data that we can have so far. And in this case I have the green color edition in my hands, but it is also available in white color. Here I want you can know it too. Notice they have the same pattern more or less for the cover. Rear they look very nice, and there is still also a black color edition that comes with a smooth finish without this pattern, and also with this same matte or satin finish that you can get to enjoy. On the other hand, there is also the HUAWEI Nova 13. This would be the standard edition, not Pro. Note that the design of the camera module is different. It comes with a straight cover both on the back and the front, as it is a little simpler than the Pro model, and the availability of colors is the same green, white, and in this case I have the edition also in black color, although in the Nova 13 the edition in black color has this mirror-like finish, and obviously it may come to stain a little more with fingerprints, so I prefer a little more the matte editions that are also available. So let me tell you very quickly the differences with this Nova 13 model. In Nova 13 Pro we have a screen with 4 curves. The bottom curvature was traditional in the high end of Huawei. In fact, I like that they have moved several things from the high end, as the variable aperture and this design of 4 curves, while in the base model we see a completely straight screen and is slightly smaller. In this case we will see only the 60 megapixel camera for the front camera, plus it has fixed focus, and in the back we do not find the camera. The telephoto in the main camera has fixed aperture of f1.9. In the RAM memory in this case we will find 8 GB instead of 12, and in the storage we will find versions of 128 or 256. The battery in this model is 4500 mAh instead of 5000, but also supports 100 watts charging. So for the moment this has been all regarding this unboxing. Remember that we will have review of both models so you can know them in more detail. For the moment we have reached the end of this video. If you liked it, you know you can tell us, and we'll see you next time.